That is the goofiest sound.
That is certainly something.
Bro is a goofy robot.
Alright. Welcome to episode 1 of the Desired Internet podcast. I'm your host, Michael Fatcat, and I am joined along with Fred 3000.
Hola.
Oh, okay. Today's topic of discussion is... Where's the topic? Why did I close it? Why did I close it? There we go.
What was the topic?
There we go. A topic. What would have happened if the Arizona Coyotes drafted Connor Bedard in 2023? Now, I think there's a short answer and there's a long answer to this. Because taking a look at it, at the 2023 draft lottery for the NHL, it was, I believe, far down did they go?
I don't know.
NHL draft order. It was 6th overall. So the Coyotes drafted 6th overall in 2023. They drafted Dmitry Simashev, and he now plays professionally for the Utah Mammoth.
Wait, what?
The Utah Mammoth.
Oh, when I searched him up, he was wearing a Blackhawks jersey.
It says so on Wikipedia. Russian professional ice hockey player for Utah Mammoth of NHL. Drafted 6th overall by the Coyotes in the 2023 draft.
Wikipedia is contradicting it. Well, no, it says ice hockey for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, did he get drafted? Wait, did he get traded?
Yeah, he's playing for the Chicago Blackhawks.
Did he get traded? I'm opening up hockey database.
He must have, because it's showing him. Well, or did he get traded like as of recently and no one's gone to the Wikipedia article? Is it still saying?
No,
that
it says it's Utah Mammoth. I don't think it's got. I think you're looking at the wrong guy. Dmitry Simashev, Utah Mammoth, 2025-2026.
I think I'm just confused. No, I searched Connor Bedard.
Oh no, that's Connor Bedard, not Dmitry Simashev.
You researched the wrong person.
Yeah, you.
So who's searching on the wrong person? Who's the wrong person here?
I was looking at who they drafted 6th overall. You were looking at the 1st overall.
Oh.
Yeah.
My brain don't work.
Yeah, Dmitry
Schools
Simashev.
cooked it.
Okay. So yeah, that was Dmitry. So he got drafted. He's playing. So taking a look here with the odds they had 7.5% odds for the 1st overall and 7.7 odds for 2nd overall. I take a look here, because knowing, yeah, so in the 2022-23 season, if I'm correct. No, that was 2022, 23. Wait, yeah, June 13th, 2023. Yeah. Yeah, so in the 22-23 season, they had a record of 28, 40, and 14, with being 7th in Central. And they did not.
And which year was the draft thingy again?
The draft is 2023.
The
That's why I got.
2023 draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they had 28, 40, and 14, and in comparison to the Blackhawks, '23, 22, 23, they had 26, 49, and 7. So technically, I guess they were worse.
Wait, who had the percents you just said again?
The Blackhawks had 26 wins, 49 losses, and 7 overtime losses. That's good for 59 points. And the Coyotes had 28, 40, and 14, which is good for 70. So technically, the Blackhawks were worse.
Interesting.
So that's why they had the different player odds. Because
Yeah, I see.
Blackhawks had 11.5% chance in comparison to the two teams that had a greater percent chance to go first, which was Anaheim at 25 and Columbus at 13. And yeah, so Arizona had 7.5% odds that year.
Where the hell are you finding that? Because I'm like looking through.
Well, I've got the stats pulled up here. They've got Arizona was 7.5, Montreal.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. San Jose was 9, Chicago 11, Columbus 13, and I'm 25.
I see.
So I think, yeah. So realistically, they had 7.5% chance. But as we saw with the Islanders getting first overall this year,
Yeah.
the small odds, there is.
Goofy Islanders.
I don't even know. But yeah, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the 1 seed for Utah at the moment is Logan Cooley, who was drafted 3rd overall in 2022. So if you pull up his stats here, pull up the career stats, he's had 45 goals with 64 assists and 109 points, and a 157 games played, which is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then if we take a look in comparison, we have pretty similar stats. 150 games played for Bedard with 45 goals, 83 assists, 128 points. So they're actually tied for goals. And
Who's tied for goals?
Bedard and Cooley. But they've got Bedard has way more points.
Yeah. Bedard has 128. It says here.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's only 2 years, so.
And consider the fact that Cooley was drafted 3rd overall 2022 compared to 1st overall 2023, that's certainly a difference. Because it took him an extra year to get to the same level, right?
What's the other player's name again so I can pull up his stats?
Logan Cooley.
Logan. How do you spell that? Oh. Cooley.
Number 92, yeah.
Yeah, he's only got 109 points.
Well, that being said, though, with less in this season, Cooley played less games. He played 75, but had 25 goals compared to Bedard with 82 and 23, which is interesting. So he's a good center. They got him pretty good that year, but obviously having Bedard would also help their chances a lot.
You gotta like look at the last season of the Coyotes, where Cooley has just 20 goals and 24 assists, so 44 points. And then if we go to Bedard here, in his first year, he had 22, 39, let's see. So that's like significantly more assists and just a couple more goals.
But I think
And then,
the most obvious thing that would have happened would have been, if they would have drafted him, then he would have stayed, right? And like the Coyotes, I meant, they would have stayed.
yeah, also if you look at that, Bedard played less games in that season than Cooley did.
Mm.
So,
In a way, they're very similar.
yeah. So maybe if he was on the Coyotes, he would have maybe the Coyotes wouldn't have been despawned out of existence.
Exactly.
Turned into the mammoth.
Because I believe they had a arena deal that they tried to get done, and then it was back and forth with the local government, and then that just got shut down because they had a plan in place, and then that plan got shut down. Plus the poor ownership of the Coyotes. I think regardless, it would have been turbulent. But I think if if they got Bedard, then he would have like the the Coyotes would have had a reason to keep going. But certainly, they would be drafting slightly higher, I think.
Yeah. But
Even
here's the other thing is the location of the Coyotes.
exactly,
It's just
right?
like they were in, I think it was like what, Phoenix is where they were in. They were at the Mullet Arena of the Arizona State University, which is
That was in Tempe.
Tempe. Where the hell is Tempe?
That's on the east side of Arizona, or Phoenix, sorry.
Tempe.
Oh,
So it's still in Phoenix.
yes, and in comparison, their previous arena, Desert Diamond, that was in Phoenix. That was on the west side.
How the fuck do you spell Phoenix? I'm horrible at spelling.
Just Google
Yeah,
Desert
okay.
Diamond Arena. 'Cause
No, I'm looking
that's
at
the
Google
name.
Maps here.
Yeah,
Actually, hold on. I can just find it. Search Google Maps and use that first. Because it's small. It was a small arena. Because I've been to Red Deer and there's a hockey arena there for the Red Deer Rebels. And I'm pretty sure it could fit more people than the Arizona Coyotes arena could. Which is strange, given
considering
Coyotes
what they're doing.
was an NHL team
Exactly.
and Red Deer Rebels is just like a random hockey. Yeah, like. And then we go Phoenix. Now, Phoenix it does seem large enough to be a city to have a arena for NHL, but like
It
if
depends.
the
Right?
arena, yeah, I mean like if the arena is that small, like then why it doesn't, because if there's not enough fans all of the time, because you got to talk about like you got to think about money. If it's
Right.
not worth it, then why would you have all this?
But clearly, considering the fact that they had, they got an NHL team. Sure they weren't successful in the long run, but they've got a strong fan base. Like the
I mean,
Coyotes subreddit. You know, they're still active. Like
yeah, I
even
mean
though they're not in the limelight, they're still there, right?
they do have a fan base. I remember one time I saw somebody driving in a truck here, and this is Alberta, and they have an Arizona Coyotes sticker on the back of their truck. This was before the Coyotes were destroyed. But
Yeah,
that just shows that there's people who do like them that
like
aren't just in Arizona.
exactly. So I was taking a look at the subreddit for the Coyotes post about 2 days ago by 9fan17 or 9fan7, and he said, "Do you think the Coyotes will ever actually come back? Sounds like NHL wants 34 teams eventually. Can they make a comeback?"
They'd
Um,
have to get a bigger arena if they wanted to come back, because I'm looking at it here. It is small. It is a really small arena, and if I can find the one in Red Deer here, I cannot spell. Google Maps. That's what I searched. Alright. So if I remember correctly where it is, gotta find it. Somewhere around here, somewhere. This might take a second to find it. I mean, like, there's Home Depot's larger than the, like, size of the Coyotes arena, which
yeah,
is concerning.
I mean, the arena sat, I believe, 7,000, and it was like small. So I think, and I was reading on the Reddit here from this chain coming from user I mask is thing. He said that the only way the Valley gets a new franchise is if they got a new arena. That's what we said. Um, has to be in Phoenix or somewhere in the East Valley, where the majority of the Coyotes fans are located. And they pointed out two paths to Coyotes getting a new arena, which first one, the Suns' lease at Footprint Center expires in 2037, and they would want a new arena, so maybe they could put they could build a new arena to host both the Suns and Coyotes, and they could tear down part of the Phoenix Convention Center. I believe that's what they were suggesting. And then the second proposal was that one of the county supervisors in Phoenix had the idea of creating a stadium district, which would have authority over all stadiums in the valley and have the power to levy taxes and fees that could partially fund development or um, basically upkeeping of a new arena. But
Yeah,
that's a lot more like long stretch. But I think regardless, ultimately, right. Um, even if they didn't get a new arena anytime soon, if they would have got Bedard, they would have stayed, and I think it would have convinced them. We need a new arena. We've got fans here. We've got a good prospect. We've got it's not over for us,
yeah.
and I think
Because
uh,
I'm trying to find the
that's funny.
seating capacity of Parkland Pavilion, which is the Red Deer one, versus Mullet Arena. See, Mullet Arena's got a Wikipedia here.
So taking a look here, it says that it has
5,000 seats.
yeah.
That is really small. Now let's look at the Saddle Dome.
For reference, the Saddle Dome has about 19,000 seats.
Yeah. Which is almost almost 4 times as many. Which is a lot.
And even still, Rogers Place has a lesser capacity. It's got 18,000, but still, um, still, that's a small arena in terms of Well, it's smallish, right? Because I believe
Yeah.
the Canadians at Center Bell have the greatest capacity. I believe, yeah, capacity 21,000. So even so, with their old arena, I do not know Diamond Arena.
Here we go. This should hopefully give me
Yeah,
the correct
Desert
answer.
Diamond had the same amount as the South Dome. It had 19,000, or sorry,
Okay.
17,000. I
So
thought 19,000 basketball.
for a hockey full house, the Red Deer Arena can seat 6,623 guests. So that's about 1,500 more people than Mullet Arena can sit at max capacity.
Exactly. I think.
And keep in mind,
Yeah.
all of these arenas, these two here, they also have to have like other events in them. Um, like I bet the Mullet Arena has like basketball in it too. And just from the pictures here, there's horse riding in the Red Deer one, which is crazy.
But definitely, if they would have managed to, get some, if they would have managed to get him, I think
Yeah, if they had Bedard,
they would
I
have been
feel
able
like
to keep it up a lot longer.
yeah, because they'd probably have more fans coming to the games and therefore make more revenue. Because if you see, now we'd have to see like what the average Coyotes game crowd size looks like, and if it's got a bunch of empty seats, then that wouldn't justify the
I mean,
existence of the Coyotes.
I
You'd
don't
have to
even
have
know this because I know like the capacity for most of their home games is like it was terrible, but
yeah,
especially
which is
towards
a
the end of
big
their season, like it just like a lot of the Coyotes fans came out. Like even when they played up in Edmonton towards the end, like Rogers Place was filled with Coyotes fans, which is unusual for a team
I
in Alberta.
distinctly remember watching a Oilers game, and I think it was one. It might have been actually the last game of the Coyotes,
Yeah, yeah,
and I saw more or almost more Oilers jerseys in that crowd than I saw Coyotes jerseys, which just goes to show that if your team isn't getting enough people in your arena and not generating enough revenue, then your team's arena isn't really justified.
mm.
It's
But
like
still,
almost as if like the arena could sell more for the opponent's team fans than its
yeah,
own.
yeah, it was. It's it's certainly concerning, but I think if they would have managed to get him, it would have certainly helped out a lot.
It definitely would have, like with more people in there, it would have helped.
Absolutely.
Because like the big reason why they turned the Arizona Coyotes into the Utah Mammoth, and for that this year the Utah Hockey Club, was because there just wasn't enough people showing up to Arizona games to warrant having an arena
Yeah,
and a team.
and I think having Bedard would have at least probably convinced him to hold off or to get started on that new arena proposal. Because taking a look at those like SketchUps, like that arena was going to be like a proper arena, right?
Yeah. Here, send me a picture of the SketchUps.
Let's take a look here. See if this will send. Take a look at this.
Alright.
If it'll load. There we go. That was the plan, and that looks like that's beautiful.
See, that looks great. Like It looks like Rogers Place almost, but like that one bit, and then yeah. See, if they had gotten that, and if they had enough fans to warrant building that there, then the Coyotes definitely could have continued going on. And I mean, it's got a nice ring to it. It's better than like Utah Mammoth. I like Arizona Coyotes. It just sounds cool. The other problem, however, is it's in a desert. And as we know, ice doesn't do so well in extremely warm climates.
I mean, taking a look at all the potential renderings,
Yeah,
what
but like you have to factor in the environment too,
true, but the
because
environment means that it has to like they got to do more upkeep, right?
yeah, it's more upkeep, it's more expensive to cool the arena if you want to have even remotely good ice. As we see with the Panthers, their ice is not great. The puck bounces around a lot, and it's not as slippery.
No, some
Which,
teams in New Jersey, or not New Jersey, but like around like the east, like even in the eastern seaboard, like they were having some problems there.
yeah, and it would be especially bad when you put the arena in the middle of a desert.
Mm.
It gets hot there. See, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna search up the average temperature of Phoenix. Average, yeah, I guess just average temperature. Temperature of Phoenix, Arizona. Alright, let's go. Weather Spark. This does not. Okay, so. Hold on. Okay, so here we go. The average high and low temperature in Phoenix. So in January, and like it looks like it's about 8 or 9 degrees Celsius, and that's the winter time. So that ice can still definitely melt. And then like in December, it's got like 7 degrees here. And then in like the spring and fall, it's kind of in the 10, like the double digits. And then when you look at the summer, the lows are 29 Celsius, and at the highs can be around 41 Celsius, which is far too hot for ice. Oh, I was looking at the graph here. It's got like literally just the temperatures here. So in, let's see, the coldest month it appears in Phoenix is December, and so the average median temperature is 13 degrees, and the average median temperature in July, which is their hottest month, is 35 Celsius. That's the average. So that's like between the minimum average and the maximum average. 35 Celsius is far too warm. But then again, they're not playing in July. But still, for like most of the season, it's 15 Celsius and above, which is, again, too hot for good ice. It's also very dry and not that humid, I don't think.
I believe, if I remember, my mind serves me correctly, I believe the Coyotes were trying to tank. Like they weren't just like, oh, we'll get them next year. Like they were actively trying to tank, and they got 7% odds.
Yeah.
So
They wanted that draft pick, but it ended up with them being eliminated.
Yeah, I think, if their lineup would have, you know, they could have really built around him. I think, like, nothing against Logan Cooley, obviously, great guy, but I think
Yeah.
they could have built around Bedard being a one center, and then have Cooley at second, and then that would have instantly improved the roster. And I think, you know,
I feel like
it, it would have done something.
it could have definitely helped them. It's just like without big crowds and also factoring in the location, it just isn't very. Words are escaping my mind. Just doesn't work well to have a team in Arizona.
But I think ultimately it's about the fans, right?
It is about the fans too,
If
which is
not enough
why,
fans, then anything's
yeah,
possible.
if they had enough fans, they wouldn't have been moved. I
But
think that's a definite thing.
yeah, but if they had Bedard, then not only would they have gained fans, but they would have, they would have been able to hold out on the arena. They probably would have gotten their um uh deal re-signed, or
Yes.
like the thing re-signed, and they would have been able to keep playing, and there would have been an increased chance that they would have been able to get that new arena proposed. And even if they didn't get that arena proposed, because I know a lot of people weren't happy with the land, but it would have prompted them to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't completely give up just yet, or keep searching. And who knows, maybe at the end of the day, even with a guy like them, maybe they were doomed from the beginning, right? But
Yeah, I
still,
think
still,
I
it was worth a shot.
yeah, I think if they had, it could have extended their longevity a little longer, but I feel like in the end they were destined to no longer be a team. It just would have prolonged their death or forestalled it.
Even if it stalled it, I think it would have convinced the NHL to, like, it would have convinced more people to step up. And
Yeah.
even if they didn't get, like, first overall ever again, like, even if they drafted, like, um somebody else in 2024, um and even coming up this year, right? Even though this year I know it's more of a weaker draft class, but I think they could have, they if they had him, they could have built around it. Ultimately, who knows? Because I know it was not the greatest team. I know it was good. They've got some good players, but I still think if they would have gotten him, it wouldn't have all been that bad.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been like ending right away like they did there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all there really is to say.
I agree.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on here with me. Hope to
It's a very
get on here again.
interesting conversation.
Yeah, I feel like it was good. Rest in peace, Coyotes. You will be
For
missed.
real.